Welcome to Building Dreams, an insider's guide to home building with Timberblock. I'm Penny Carrick.
And I'm Curtis McCurry.
Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is episode 3, Curtis.
I know, exciting.
I know. So episode 2, if you had a chance to listen or watch episode 2, it was all about pre-construction. It was part 1 because we need a part 2. It is such a big process that we're going to talk all about today, design.
Well, it is. And thank you for joining us for part 2 of pre-construction. Design is incredibly important when it comes to your final product. So we want to walk through those steps. It's one of those areas, again, could be a lot of confusion out there about different types of design options that are available to you. So we want to walk you through that today.
Yeah, and I mean, where do you even start?
Right, exactly. Well, the first thing that you kind of want to start at this point is, you've assembled your team. If you remember from our previous podcast, you've gotten a group of professionals together, and you've decided on a general contractor, and he'll be able to help you with some of the ideas that you already have. So design is really one of those ideas that you kind of need to have somebody that is used to being able to create spaces that are going to work for you and understand architecture. So really what we're talking about is, when we say design, is architectural design versus interior design at this point. And that's probably another podcast down the road. Yeah, but right now we're talking about the architectural style of your home and how it's going to function, the room sizes, how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, closets are really important to a lot of people. And how you're going to use those spaces.
So your builder, you'd work pretty close with your builder too, and your design team.
Right.
During this.
Yeah, absolutely. So communication, again, it's going to be a theme throughout everything that we talked about, but communication really is important during this time to kind of know at this point the things that are really, really important to you, right? And what you want to accomplish in that design. And by communicating those desires, then the person that's doing the design work on your home can help incorporate that. One of the things that I like to do is do a visualization exercise, because you're going to live in a 3D environment, right? In the home. Sometimes it's a little difficult to be able to see that in a 2D environment of a blueprint. So it's really important that as you go through the plans and the things that you want and things that you're looking for, is to really put yourself in that space.
And how do you put yourself in that space?
Well, I mean, it starts by walking through the front door, right? So, just imagine you're inside the home, because really the exterior is not something that you start with typically, because the exterior is going to be dependent on how the spaces are put together on the inside of the home. So every home pretty much is going to have a front door, right? An entry into the house. So from that entry, you're walking through the front door. Now, it seems like a simple exercise, but really you need to kind of visualize yourself actually walking through that front door. So based on the plans, what are you seeing? Normally there's a coat closet, things like that. So how are you going to open that closet? How are you going to put your coat in if if you have a coat, or take your shoes off, if you're coming in? Those are small things, but they're really important, because, if you can visualize it early on, then that drawing on a 2D paper becomes the actual space that you live in.
Right. Like, and things you're talking about, doors and right. Like, is it going to swing left or is it going to swing right? Do I want a pocket door?
Right.
Even just that, there's a lot.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
What's your dominant hand? That determines a lot of times how the door is going to swing. So all of these things are really big considerations, because, when you look at a space, I've heard this said before, that there's only so many ways that you can put together 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, right? Which is the most common, function of most houses. There's only so many ways. but there's really not, because it's really kind of limitless about closet size, closet spaces. If you're a person that loves to cook, loves to entertain, you want a gourmet kitchen, then that space is going to take up a lot more. It's going to be more important for you for your kitchen area. So you'd want to focus on that area versus, maybe a massive master bedroom,
Right,
right?
and that's why you're building your own home. You want to build your own
Absolutely.
custom home to make it exactly what your dream home looks like. We were talking, and you said, where you live now. What do you like about your home?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I think about that. I mean, right, okay, there you love your home, but what do you really love about your home now? And what do you kind of not really like about your home? And take that into the design, and you have your home. You can make it all everything
Absolutely.
that you want.
Yeah, at this point in your life, you've lived in houses, right?
Right.
So you kind of have an idea of what is an ideal for you and what really works that you really like. Some things that you really don't want to live without. It could be a massive pantry, right? If you're storing a lot of food, if you've got a lot of cookware. Again, if you're a gourmet cook and you love to entertain, you need big pots and pans. So it's great to have those, but you really need a place to store them. So things that your life, how you're going to live your life, or what goes into the design, the functionality of the home.
And I think you also want to think ahead, right? Like
Absolutely.
you might have young children right now, and then they're going to go off, and they're going to have more kids. Like, maybe you have to think of that. You have to think about, is this the place where you want to grow old?
Right.
And so, there's just so much.
We go through that. A lot of our clients that come to us have that in mind. Also, is that I'm in good health now, but maybe I am taking care of an elderly parent, or a family member, or one day it may be me, right? That I need wheelchair access, or which means that maybe that bathtub is not going to be ideal for me to be able to step over and get into. So we recommend things like zero entry showers, for that reason, that functionality and ease of access. You may not want to climb a whole lot of stairs, right? The older that you get. So those are things to consider when you're looking at design. And another important factor is that you also want to think about resale value as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this could be your forever home, or it could be the home that's forever right now. But you never know what's going to happen in the future. So if you leave out certain aspects that the majority of people would like, then maybe it's not going to kind of retain the resale value. So really, it goes back to what the function and what the purpose of that house is that you're building.
And, well, for example, if you're building a massive house, you're building a 5,000 square foot house,
Right.
and all the bedrooms are upstairs, and you have 25 steps to get up there.
Yeah.
But it's okay for you now because you're, okay. And then, but for resale, like you said, if things change and you want to sell your home, well, then you're going to have to find someone who fits exactly that.
For sure, yeah, and knowing the purpose and the function and communicating that really is important, because it's some of the questions that we ask all the time, especially when it comes to, what do you envision